and then Claudia will take the lead. Entonces tengo que admitir a todos. Entonces, Sandra, ya vamos a transmitir. Tú me dices cuando comencemos a transmitir.
Ya estamos en vivo.
Ok. Luis, ¿estás por ahí?
Sí, aquí estoy manejando. I am
Okay.
driving.
Okay, he's the head of the School of Design at undergraduate level. So, Luis, por favor, inicia el evento con algunas palabras.
¿En español o en English, my friend?
Como te sientas más cómodo. Vamos a hacer la introducción en español y después ya todo lo vamos a hacer en inglés.
Okay. Then I welcome you to the National University of Mexico today. We are transmitting from the Center for Industrial Design Research in a university city in Mexico City. And we welcome all the people attending our forum. And it's important for us because we are working in renew our education program. And we are thinking so much into sites. The education based on pieces on linked of knowledge, or a new education more systemic and based on complexity. And maybe we have some places in the middle of these sites, but we are discussing about this and also constructing a new PhD fully centered on transdisciplinary design. So for us to have this forum, it's a very important event, and we hope it helps us to see our future. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Luis. Muchas gracias. Bienvenidos a todos y todas. Vamos a iniciar este fórum que, como mencionó Luis, es muy importante para el posgrado en diseño industrial, para el Centro de Investigaciones en Diseño Industrial. Y estamos muy contentos el día de hoy de que tenemos a Bao con nosotros. Ella está, ya son las 11 de la noche, entonces está haciendo un gran esfuerzo por estar aquí con nosotros y compartir toda su experiencia que tiene. Les voy a dar una breve reseña de su trayectoria y bueno, después de eso vamos a iniciar formalmente el evento. Bueno, Bao es doctora, ella realizó estudios de doctorado en Aalto University y actualmente es profesora en el Politécnico de Hong Kong. Ahí hay un departamento de diseño muy reconocido y bueno, tenemos el gusto de que ella esté participando el día de hoy. Ella también aborda temas que son interesantes y que en cierta medida han permeado en la disciplina del diseño, desde el diseño socialmente con impacto social, pero también habla de diseño de servicios, diseño antropológico y diseño de ficciones, y bueno, además, diseño participativo. Ha recibido diferentes becas y apoyos para realizar su investigación. Ella aborda el tema de investigación a través del diseño, entonces es muy importante también reconocer esa faceta. Y ha publicado en diferentes conferencias a nivel internacional, Human Computer Interaction, Design Research Society y la conferencia que es IASDR. Entonces, perdón. Entonces le damos la bienvenida a Bao. Bao, welcome. We are really happy to have you here. And then we'll start this conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. And thank you so much, really, Bao, to be here with us. I'm glad to have you here because I admire you as a researcher, but I also love you very much as a friend. So I'm really, really happy to see you.
Yes, same here. Very nice to see all of you.
And I hope everybody else will see you at some point through the recording or in a different way because, well, yeah, I think they will love your work and just you. I hope that we'll get you to Mexico at some point.
Yeah, let's wish for that. Yeah.
Yes. So first of all, we wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite Mexican dish?
I love all the Mexican dishes, especially all the spicy chili paste.
I know that there's one thing you don't like, coriander.
Coriander. Yeah, that's also very difficult for me to survive in Mexico.
But tell us, if any of us were to go to Hong Kong, what should we be doing there?
Well, first of all, there are a lot of Mexican restaurants. Welcome. And then there's a Mexican cocktail bar. It's actually numbered as #1 cocktail bar in Asia. It's called COA. It's just next door to my home. So that's really nice. I highly recommend it as well. And then 70% of the Hong Kong land is actually nature. So you can do hiking, go to the beach and everything. So it's super nice.
Sounds really lovely. So let's hope we also get to visit you at some point.
Yeah, let's hope that's as well.
Great, but as everybody else has said already, we are in the process of redesigning the programs here in UNAM. So this is a reason behind organizing this event, where we really want to understand how design is moving globally, locally, regionally. And so, of course, Hong Kong is far off from Mexico, but we'd like to know what's going on over there. So first of all, how is design seen at your university?
Yeah, so I just introduced that I'm from the Hong Kong Polytechnic University and School of Design. So School of Design is a very few, not department, but kind of the same level as department. So it's been valued as really important in Hong Kong Polytechnic University. And then, we have this building, this very famous building by Zaha, was like almost 10 years ago. So you can see that university and the whole Hong Kong city see design is very important. So Hong Kong government also invests a lot of money on, let's say, building Hong Kong as a creative hub, media, art, new technology, etc., as a competence of the city. And also, actually, it's very not coincidence, but we know that the society is changing. Design education need to change. We just had a new program starting from this semester. So it's initiated by our dean and a Korean professor, K.P. Lee. So he was originally a head in KAIST University. I think one of the best design and HCI university in Korea, and also he had a lot of experience in LG. So he joined Hong Kong, Poly U, and then School of Design. Then he spent quite many years to develop the new design program. Now we are having the very brand new programs in both undergraduate and postgraduate level.
Interesting. Let me clarify a couple of things. When we say that there's a design department or school within a polytechnic, does this mean that the approach is closer to engineering?
Yeah, engineering. Yeah, because the whole university is a very engineering school, so it's different from our outdoor arts. Outdoor arts, we have the arts, so you have kind of crafts approach. Quite a lot of art practice, but in Poly U, it's very engineering based. So speaking of let's say the directions in our department, are many people working on human factor and interaction design, quite like engineering based. Yeah.
Thank you. And then what is the new program about?
Okay, so I'm gonna promote this. We have 4 new programs in the postgraduate level. So the program that I'm in currently is called Smart Service Design. And second one is in Intelligent Systems Design. And the third one is International Business Innovation. And the fourth one is Transitional Environments Design. So compare with the old one that we have service, because we didn't have service program before previously in the university. But then actually Hong Kong it's a financial hub as we know it, and the service economy is actually the majority in Hong Kong. So it's very important to have service design as an education program in school. And then because the vision of our dean, the whole world and also design, we need to transform into the AI intelligent that direction. So that's we create this new program called Intelligent System Design. And also the business innovation, I think I remember is focused on the design entrepreneurship. And then the environmental is like mainly taking a critical perspective and having this ecological concern in design. So you can see it's about transitional design, transformation design, and with the ecological perspective.
Very interesting. So did you used to have already four programs, or did you have one and open three? How did that happen?
Okay, so I can't remember the old names because we just don't remember the old names. But previously, can you imagine that it's interaction design, it's the media study, and it's some environmental art as well. So what here I want to highlight is that in terms of the keywords, we have this new keywords such as transitional and smart. So I think smart service design is actually maybe one of the very few program names in the world, actually, because most of the school, they call it service design. So probably you add smart before service design, you can see at least the focus of the school, right? And intelligent, this word is new. So you can see the direction and the vision of the dean, our leader.
It's very interesting. So what are you teaching within these programs?
So in the master program, teaching service design, and we have also social design in the bachelor level. So a little bit background about social design. In Hong Kong, social work is really strong. And it's many young people's dream that after graduation, they want to become a social worker, work with NGO, work with local communities. And to really solve the really immediate social problems. There are a lot of social problems in the society. So that's how, and the founder of the social design program has had a lot of experience in working with NGO. So in social design program, actually, we had half students from design and half from social science. And I think that's really appreciated. So the classes, the course that I was teaching in social design, one is called creative citizenship. And I personally really like the setting is about really train students to make change like right now. So they have to, and of course, every year the topic is different. So the course I was teaching was about, at that time, still pandemic. So try to help the older adults to get reconnected. Within and pandemic regulation. So what we teach students is that they have to react to the real problem and come up with a solution and do prototype, test out, and fail and test out, iterate, fail, test out. So encourage them to have like 3 rounds, different rounds. So that's, we call it creative citizenship, like being a very responsible citizen and responsible citizen designer. And
that
then
sounds like a beautiful course.
Yeah. And it was very surprising because before, based on my experience, designers, we were taught before as a hero. So the final day of the course is the day of celebration, right? It's like, okay, see, this is the perfect design solution. And with this, the world is perfect. Everybody is happy. So that's kind of the mode. But for that course, actually, we made a portfolio. And we were joking that's about failure portfolio. So you have to document like the failure of your prototypes and how you iterated and how being accepted by people, but not accepted by other people, and how you learn from that. So I think that's especially important for social designers.
And tell me something, does everybody in the master level take that course, or is it just for some?
No, that's a bachelor level.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
But everybody who's a design student will go through that course.
Yeah, and also because we have half from the social science.
Right.
And they have to work together.
Interesting. And it's a mandatory course for both programs.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, but you were saying, so that's at undergraduate level, but then you also teach some courses at master's levels, right?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, master level, more industrial related. And it's like English system. So we only have 1 year, actually a bit more than 1 year. It's like 1 year and 3 months master level. And because it's like the program lead and the dean's vision is more like related to industry. And since you have the SMART before it, so it's kind of more connected to technological industry and to explore the application of the emerging technologies. And it's a very new program. So we just had the first semester. It's going on at this moment.
Thank you, Bao. So we need to now move a little bit towards the part of the students. So what do you think? Which are those approaches that students enjoy the most?
Okay, so actually in the course that I was teaching in the master level, it's the entry level course, designing services. And I had an exercise called method market. So they had to learn, there are like many design research methods, as we all know it. And if we follow this double diamond from the 4 stages, there are all kinds of methods. So I asked students to pick ones that they like the most. And guess what? There are 2 their favorite design methods. The first one is persona. And the second one is rehearsing your design concepts. And then the least favorite one, it's very also surprising. It's in-depth interview. And then related to my previous experience in Alto, when I was teaching master there, I remember all the students loved the method called probes. So I was thinking why, and I'm thinking that first of all, probe is something actually designerly. So as a designer, you don't need to talk to users. So you just make beautiful visual probes and small little tasks, and very creative, very beautiful booklet and everything, box. And then you send out to the users, and then they finish the task and send back to you. So this is something I think designers really like. And then in terms of the persona and its rehearsing, I think it's like they still take pride out of it, because you can see it's about like you directly see how it works, right, with your the new design concept. And through persona, you directly can feel the value you bring to the users, even though they're not the real people. But this is how kind of through persona, I feel like, oh, there's all the values of our design proposals. So I think they can kind of get this very sense of achievement. And in terms of in-depth interview, is actually very, very important. And it's actually, everybody's doing it, but they might find it just boring. It's just like interview. It's like, yeah, it's like everybody's doing, it's not really designerly, nothing special, nothing unique. So that's like the least favorite method for them. And in
maybe we could say that students enjoy doing research through design.
Yeah, exactly. And in our teach, like at least for my teaching, I emphasize a lot co-design, and also the reflection of the consequences of their design proposals in people's life. And the co-design actually very, very difficult. I don't know how you feel, at least in my experience, that they only invite each other, right? So of course, it's nothing wrong. It's about their life, and they understand the world from their perspective. They're talking about Apple Watch, talking about all kinds of things they're familiar with. So they invite themselves. But co-design, the whole another value is you get to know something you don't know. It's beyond your perspective. So you get the knowledge, the experience, different perspectives from other people. But it's very difficult for them to get people that they don't know.
Right. Yeah. You can't really reach somebody you don't know exists, right?
Yeah, but we really push them to do that. Really, like even just randomly meet random people on the street. And that's very, very important.
Very nice. Thank you, Bao. So the next question would be, which is the course that your students prefer? What's their favorite course at university?
Yeah, I'm thinking first of all, I wouldn't want to say which course, because the courses are taught by different teachers. And so it will be very, yeah. But then again, I'm thinking, because now also as a feature of PolyU is like we have very different directions. As I just mentioned, you can go for social design, you can become a design entrepreneur, you can want to do a little bit art. So each student really have their own career path. And so, and we really provide a variety of the options. So if you want to, in the future, work with NGO, and then you will prefer this kind of creative citizenship course. But if you want to, in the future, become an artist, because like media art is quite strong in Hong Kong, and you want to show your work in the exhibition, that also, and then you will prefer the other type of course. Now we are providing kind of AI related courses. So I think it will be very attractive for many students as well. Because for many students, after all, of course, you want to help people and change the world and being critical about what's going on. But many students also, they want to find a job. And that's currently still, the technological corporate is still one of the, like the popular, one of the most popular options. So in order to get job there, they have to learn all kinds of skills.
What kind of skills do you think are the most important for them to develop?
Just what I said, because every student had their really different career path. So even in service design, like the course I was teaching, I invited 9 guest lecturers from different fields, like service design for government, service design for IT company, service design as an entrepreneur. So even that we were talking about, we're encouraging students, like you need to understand your position, your own like what you want to do within the world, and then to go for that and learn the skills you need, and really not really so many overlapping things. So even though we think like common sense and human-centered design, but for many students it's not really necessary because they want to do something completely different.
Thank you, Bao. That's a very interesting perspective. Juan Carlos, do you have a follow-up question here?
Yes, because here in Mexico and our university, we have been discussing this issue related to skills, which are the basic skills that a person needs in order to become a designer. So maybe we would like to ask if there are basic skills like sketching or modeling that, based on your experience, you can share with us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I want to expand a little bit to the discussion of design thinking. We are all very familiar with, and people might have problem with it. People might love it. But the fact is that design thinking is taught in every discipline, basically. So I don't teach design thinking. I don't call it what I teach as design thinking. I just call it there's a lot of design tools and methods, knowledge and concepts. But many other teachers use design thinking to teach to design students. And then design thinking, you teach the engineering school, business school, because design thinking is actually very related to business innovation, right? And in Hong Kong, it's like in sociology department, they teach design thinking. So I was giving several lectures on design thinking in even the political science department. And then I start to think, well, we used to have the discussion as well. So is that everybody, is it design thinking the competence of design professionals? Yes or no? And if everybody is a good design thinker, then what the point of having the design professionals? So what are the core skills that we design professionals have that other professionals don't have? And I think many people have different opinion. But for me, it's like, okay, so if designers learn design thinking and everybody else learn design thinking as well, and I think the core skill we have is the making. And maybe some people do not agree, maybe, but like making, the visual making and the material making, and making is not just, of course, craftsmanship is very important, but making, you can through making to visualize the problem, to visualize your argument, your ideas. So I think that's very, very important for designers, especially in the context that there are many different other type of people. Then some people say that designers were not born, but like have empathy with users. But that's, I feel like other professionals have empathy with users as well, especially people from social science, and they have much depth insights of people than designers. And I often now have problem with, I feel like designers, sometimes we think too narrow to user itself, individual user and a use. We can't really see the bigger picture because now we are more involved in the complicated social issues. And then it becomes limited the perspective that if we only focus on the individual user, especially we're talking about the social media or the technologies we're using. And also I realize that in terms of facilitator, because in co-design, we're taught like we're designer as glue, right? So we can talk to different disciplines and translate their knowledge and translate the user's needs to different disciplines, or translate this knowledge from the language of different discipline. But then I realized that many people, they're from business innovation. They're very good at facilitating and they don't have ego. Like many designers have ego for like, oh, our design concept is so great and you have to accept it, etc. in the co-design. But I observed that many great workshop facilitators, they're from the innovation management, have the business background, and they're doing great facilitating in terms of this collaboration. So I don't know the answer, but it seems like a lot of discussion going on, and I think it's a great thing.
Thanks for a brilliant answer, Bao. Will make us think a lot. So we go for the final question we have on our side, which is what are the design challenges that you see coming in the future?
Right. So I just open up discussion, and first of all, gonna start with opinion that our dean has. Because if we think of the history that originally, let's say craftsman, right, and that had the very simple tools to make the woodwork, the carpenter or something, and then you have sewing machine, and now and then later on we have CAD and all kinds of computer tools help us to draw, and your architect use design the building, etc. And now we have the AI. So then there's a discussion is that can designers make use of AI technology as a tool to help us, or AI will become a design tool to replace human designers? And I don't think there's an answer, and people are still debating on it. And I don't know what you guys are thinking about this.
Do you want to hear our opinions on this side?
Yeah, if you like to share.
Well, I can share mine, but this comes with my discussions with Ossi Naukarinen, who was my mentor for many years, and he's a philosopher and a humanist. So he would be on the side of saying that there's no way AI will ever be even close to what humans do somehow. Like there's a human aspect that cannot be imitated and cannot be replicated. So yeah, AI can do a lot of things, but there are a few things that AI might never be able to do. Because we are, like, whatever we do is unexpected, because we are social, we are human. You can't really somehow know exactly what people will do when you give them an input. But let's see what others think. Enrique Ricalde here is the coordinator of the industrial design postgraduate. So he coordinates the master's program in UNAM. Thank you,
Claudia. Well, considering Claudia's philosophical point of view as a high consideration, in my personal opinion, it is an open debate. And the problem that I see is the technical skills that we need to understand AI, because it is very complex. I have been trying to do it, and as a designer, I do not have the technical skills, mathematical skills, and programming skills to use this technology appropriately. But if we work together with specialists, I think that it is a very powerful tool for design, a really very powerful tool. Because if you consider all the techniques that you were talking about as, let's say, persona, co-design, and all these things, with IA, it's very, let's say, it's a more powerful tool to get results and to get very interesting approaches and ideas.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the warning that we could always have in mind is that the ego you were talking about. So we keep on saying that AI is about gathering everybody's intelligence in the world. Well, but we maybe are not as intelligent as we think. So what if what we are just gathering is everybody's stupidity? So we probably should be careful with it.
Yeah, we're often saying that we're talking about smart all the time, but it's not smart technology, it should be smart people, right? But many of the time we just always only talking about the smart technology. And then in the engineering school, I'm not criticizing, but it's just one approach that it was quite technology-led innovation. Well, that has been always in our human and history. But if you look at a project, still like we have this new technology and the engineering assume that, okay, it's gonna work. And then you apply for money, you get a funding, because you get a funding, so you have to make it work. So that's, I observe like it's quite a lot of the process like this, but yeah.
Thank you, Bao. So I will now open the floor for the audience. I don't know if anybody has another question for Bao, who will soon have to go to sleep because it's really late over there. Or if you, Bao, have a question for anybody here.
Not at this moment.
Okay.
I have one question related to the new programs. Do you, in the bachelor, do you still have an industrial design program, or
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
already
There's
gone? Okay.
there's industrial design program, and we call product design. And the emphasis of that bachelor program is the inclusive design. So a lot of design about let's see, you know, like the kids with the eyesight issues and with some physical like issues, and designing for that. So inclusive design is the direction in the product design, the undergraduate level.
Okay, and then you change all the program to the new master's program, and then it's gone. It's at least in name.
You mean the
name of
we had on undergrad, both bachelor and the master, we had a new program, and it took like 3 years, I think, for the development. And then the structure of the bachelor, that is, there is foundation year, which many universities have. So the first year of the undergraduate education is the foundation year. And after that, students can choose the direction. And so in the undergraduate, we have product design, service design including social design, and interaction design, and also communication design. So you can see it's the bachelor is quite traditional, and in the master kind of more responsive to the change of the context.
Okay.
Enrique?
Well, do you have a PhD program in design?
Yeah, it's huge. We have about 70 doctoral students, like currently studying, active doctoral student. And then in the, yes, right. So in the PhD program, we have 3 directions. One is social, one is business, one is making. So that is a direction that made by the previous dean, a Dutch professor. So when you enter the program, the PhD program, you have to choose one direction.
It's
one of the 3.
It is a 5-year program or a 3-year
3.
program? 3. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And how big is the faculty, like supervising team for 70 doctoral students?
That not I'm aware of. I know the academic staff about 40 to 50 overall, including lecturer, professor, research track, and teaching track. But the people that can supervise PhD students, I'm not aware of the number. But it's huge, right? I was very shocked when I heard that. We're like, wow. Proud of the whole department.
Right. It's about like the number of students that have gone through Aalto University in history somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, to the doctoral school. Yeah.
And the dropout rate is really low. It's like, well, basically, because in Nordic, we know that even if it's 3-year or 4-year program, but like people spend much more time than we were supposed to, right? But in Hong Kong, it's like very, very like 3 years. Graduate, 3 years graduate. It's very impressive as well. From a person like, yeah, been living in Finland for quite many years.
A little bit of a shock to see different rules. I understand. I think we lost Juan Carlos, but if we don't have any further questions, I think we can let you go to sleep and and thank you forever.
Yeah. So you just start, all of you just start your day, right? So wish you the rest of the day. No, someone else in different times, so no.
Yeah, there's one in a different time zone. We have one in Finland right now, Daniel over there. So he might.
Oh,
Claudia,
hi.
See?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think Hong Kong, it's a country where you have an intercultural process about Asian population and British population mostly. And in Mexico, we have 68 different originary nations and the Spanish conquest. So we have a very difficult intercultural process. What do you think about interculturality in the present time and in the future?
You mean of our school, specifically?
No, I think about your own thinking.
That Hong Kong in general.
I think you can talk about your own experience. I mean, your husband, for example. I think you are an expert in interculturality.
So no, we can talk about school itself because, well, first of all, we know design is quite Western dominant. Can we say that? Design education as well. So compared with other departments in PolyU, School of Design is very international. We have much more international faculty. That's like much more than the other departments. And we have the dean all the time. The dean is from outside. So want to maintain this very international, the portfolio. But I think the organizational structure is still very British in terms of the institution-wise, yeah. And cultural-wise, yeah, I think that may be why PolyU School of Design is so, it's like there are so many different directions because it's really, because the faculty from different culture. We have a Mexican faculty, we have Koreans from Canadian, German, all the European. So it's very, it's a variety of the topics and directions. So I see that's what I like about Hong Kong the most. And really people coexist. So it's like people live in their own circles and coexist in this small city.
Right, and it's a context where everybody's open to hear everybody else's opinion, right? That not like thinking that there's one dominant perspective over everybody else's.
Exactly. Yeah, and also I'm part of the school's internationalization force task team, because the pandemic is school design used to have a lot of exchange, collaboration, like field trip visiting with all kinds of universities, but we can't do it now. So we try our best really to reach out different universities and to co-teach many subjects. So let's hope that we can have the opportunity to collaborate regardless of the different time zone.
We'll be glad to, and we are in debt now. So whenever you say, we shall be online for you, I promise.
Not online, yeah, right. That's the start.
Well,
good start.
The start, yeah. Thank you so much, Bao. Oh, there is one other question. There's always another question. Go on, Daniel.
Yeah, sorry, probably a bit too late. Sorry about I really want to sleep, but it just came to me like you were talking about that the program has a really social approach to these topics. Like specifically, I'm talking about smart design, service design, and I was checking the webpage, and it has a really social core. How do you approach this social aspect? Like I mean, it can be really techno-positivist and say like technology will solve it, right? And people will have used this technology and it will be good for them. Or it's more like a critical approach to the process. Like, yeah, I just want to know, how do you approach society?
Wow, right. It's a very big question. But as I mentioned here and use this the creative citizenship course as an example, that's really the approach that I personally really appreciate. So we don't talk big, and we should be humble, beware that there's limits of design we can do, because we usually start with the design brief with like, wow, big problem. And then if you have this technological approach, and usually we have the problem, we call it solutionism or silver bullets. It's like, okay, the big problem, and you expect to solve it with an app. So just one example. So like students always observe like, okay, people no longer talk to each other. And people just look into their screen in the public place, how to solve it. Let's create another app game. And so, I mean, those kind of things we really try to avoid. So students need to be aware that there's a limit of design, and there are places very, very tiny, and you can do some design intervention. I think we focus a lot on design intervention. So it's not like a big concept and very ideal, but it's just not realistic. But some design intervention that you can do it, or the resources that you recognize around you can do it. And then we really do it with either prototype or pitch the real people, the real institute. Then we get feedback from the real world. And then they will tell you why it's not working, why we never do this before. And then students learn and then start to think again, reframe the problem or reframe the design space. Like, okay, so what else we can do to do design intervention? So that we kind of emphasize a lot. I hope answer your question.
Yeah, thank you. It really answered. Now I understand how you approach it. So thank you so much.
And another is the critical perspective. I personally really like the critical perspective, but I think it's more for PhD students, not really for bachelor and a master. Because I'm telling Claudia, we're collaborating on some topic like gender in the technology. So we try to teach students some feminist perspective, but it's kind of a little bit challenging for them, because it really requires a lot of reading and understanding of those critical theories and use them to reframe our own reality. And that actually takes time. But PhD students, yes, I think that's very important.
Yeah, and that's what I asked, because I was relating this with design justice, well, with this idea of design justice that if you want to design for women, you should include women. If you want to design for transgender, you should include transgender. So, but I was thinking about that. So thank you so much.
Oh, okay. We can talk more. We have paper on it, like, yeah, about reflection on this social injustice structure and how to enhance designers' reflection in those kind of issues.
Thanks so much. It will be really nice.
Bao's work is really interesting. Well, she worked a lot with art as well, and created a lot of reflective practices around it.
Yeah, like
She became
ants.
famous in Finland through her plant hotel. So she created a hotel for plants and encouraged people to go and take care of everybody else's plants who had gone on holiday. And so everybody started thinking Bao was a plant expert, but she was specifically interested in understanding social interaction of people. And well, this artistic dimension has always been very important. She then got a grant as well to get married in the border between China and India with her husband, Kartik, who was also our colleague in university. So through there, they, let's say with their love, they broke the boundary and tension. The wedding happened there at the border. And lately she's been working a lot also with design fiction. So even thinking about far off futures of big technologies like this ship or boat or industry with Virpirrota, right? So
now I'm mainly working with plants and a little bit gender and body as well a little bit, but now I'm interested in interventionist approach, so not too far, but it's like make the I'm taking this technology probe. It's a very old method, and I think it's still very, very important and valid. So making those prototype used as a technology probe and to people's daily life, and to there are many inquiries, 3 types of inquiry in this technology probe, but.
Very nice. So I'm really, really hoping that we get to invite you physically to Mexico next time. And I think we now really need to let you go and sleep and have a good rest. And we'll be in touch and we'll go through all your answers together with everybody's answers and see how design is changing in the world. Share the results with you as well.
Thank you for the conversation and questions. Good night from my side. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bueno, con esto concluimos nuestra primera sesión de este evento. El día de hoy tenemos otra reunión a las 12 horas con una investigadora de Senegal, entonces están todas y todos invitados, nos vemos a las 12 horas y en toda esta semana, bueno, tenemos varias actividades para que por favor estén participando. Claudia, muchas gracias. Enrique, muchas gracias. Alumnos y alumnas del posgrado. Estamos en contacto y pues seguimos viéndonos.
Nos vemos, hasta luego, adiós a todos, nos vemos al rato.
Gracias, hasta luego.